just your overall thoughts on how minicamp went.
It was a really good 2 days. This group has come in and really practiced well, competed well. Level's been high both days, and we're excited for training camp.
Message to the guys before you guys split.
I was just really appreciative of the entire off season. The attendance was fantastic, and it says so much about the leadership of our team, and you just appreciate it because you know how the NFL is in the off season, and to have everybody here, I feel like it allows us to improve a lot more, to kind of set the culture of our team, the direction of our team, and now we're ready for training camp, and so just very thankful for the guys.
Mike Williams, what has it been like to have him out here and to see what he's capable of in Kellen's offense?
Yeah, it's just been special. Mike means so much to our team. He's one of the top players I've ever coached, and I believe he's one of the top players in the NFL. And so, he's such a big part of what we do and how we do it. And he's had a fantastic 2 days out there, and he's ready to have a great training camp.
Talking to Mike, he feels like Justin maybe's been a bit more aggressive here. Obviously, don't want to put too much stock into OTA and minicamp practices and shorts, but do you feel like that's been happening with Justin, maybe pushing the ball downfield a little bit more, taking more shots in Kellen's offense?
Yeah, Daniel, I think just it's a combination of factors. I just think that Justin has a comfort zone with who he's throwing to as well. I think the continuity of being able to throw to Keenan and to Mike, to DP, to Gerald, when you know your weapons, I think that you can be more aggressive. So I think there's a comfort zone, and then, obviously the comfort zone within, our system as well. So those are all positive things, and, and this is, going on Justin's fourth season in the NFL. So I think he knows who he is as a player, and, he's improved so much, and, these guys around him, you will be aggressive when you have the type of weapons that we have. So it's been, like I said, it's been a really competitive couple days, and it's good. It's been good to see the group come together.
How do you deal with that balance with a player like Justin, who obviously protects the football? That's something he does as well as anyone in the league, and maybe, I don't want to say he's risk averse, but likes to not take chances and put the ball in harm's way. How do you balance that part of his game, which is obviously one of his strengths, with maybe pushing him to be a little bit more aggressive?
Yeah, I think what Justin does is he makes the right play. To use a basketball analogy, he makes the right play. And I think that's what makes him such a special quarterback, and that's what gives you a chance to be successful. And he's one of the rare guys that can be aggressive down the field, but is also such a point guard and understands the rush and the timing of the play, the situation. But I think with our weapons, Justin's able to put the ball that, very few people can, and that gives us, especially with the way that we are constructed on the outside, it just gives our guys more chances, to be explosive. And so we're trying to, walk that fine line. And, I think about Justin. When I think of Justin, I think of a guy that's just a great decision maker. And we don't ever want to take away his instincts as a player, because I think those are what make him so special, are his instincts. And again, with more experience is going to come more playmaking. And he's already made a ton of plays, but that will continue to, improve the more he plays.
With having a new coordinator, do you feel like you've accomplished everything you want to accomplish to this point before you go into training camp?
Yeah, Lindsay, I think we laid a good foundation in training camp, or in the springtime for training camp. I think that we were able to experiment with some things, which you're always trying to do this time of year, but you're also trying to build that, that identity of the foundation of your offense, so you carry that into camp and that you have enough time on task. So I think that we've done that, and now there's a lot of work to do, because you don't know about your team, so you put your shoulder pads and helmets on and start competing. So I know that we've given ourselves a good opportunity to get into training camp and really hit the ground running.
Balance during the off-season program of teaching, learning, trying things, and then also evaluating?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's definitely more teaching and learning than evaluating. I don't think you can truly evaluate NFL players until you see them in pads, because that's how the game's played. And so I think more of the evaluation is going to take place when there's pads on. What we're trying to do is, use the springtime so that when we get to training camp, all these guys know what to do and how to do it. That way we can evaluate them. So to spend the springtime from a teaching perspective to get these guys to have an opportunity to compete. That's why we organize practice the way we do for the young guys, so that they have enough time on task with the reps so that they can actually play the game, where their experience doesn't hold them back. So we try and get them as much work in the springtime so that they can go be their best in the training camp.
We know entering this offseason how important the sports performance and the athletic training, all that was. Now that that system is in place, How do you feel about the way that's set up?
Yeah, Jeff, it's important. We've made a lot of investment in that space, and there's more work that we're going to be doing. But I think, to name Marco as the director and how we feel about him and him leading that space, and then to onboard Sal Lopez from Tennessee, who's got an awesome background in rehab and physical therapy. There's just a lot of important pieces that we're adding in that space, and says so much about our club, the Spanoses and Tom and Ed McGuire. That group really putting the investment where it needs to be, and just we're very grateful, and I know our players are, and we're excited to see that space take shape.
Understanding the caveat that you're doing more teaching and learning than evaluating, were there any guys over the springtime that maybe jumped out to you?
Daniel, I think all of the rookies that we drafted, I'm really excited to work with. I think they all proved themselves in one shape or form. Certainly with the linemen, you're not getting to see them, in that way of the physicality and the pads and stuff. But I think the guys we drafted, and there's going to be some undrafted guys that I know that are going to make an impression on you guys in the training camp. I'm confident in that. So the rookies, I think, really showed a lot of professionalism, and they showed the ability that hey, they're going to be a factor come training camp.
You were high on Eric Kendrick when you signed him. Not necessarily on the field, but off the field. What impact has he made?
I think that you guys have probably seen it talking to him and his teammates. He's fit right in. He's a competitor. He's such a complete player. He's got so much experience. It's important that, when you're bringing guys in from the outside that they're going to add to your football team, and he's done that in a short amount of time. He's got a great way about him. He's humble. And he's learning too at times, but he's just got so much experience to draw from, and you've seen him out there on the field, what a playmaker he is and what a commander he is. And I'm just glad that he's in the right space. When you bring people from other teams, you just want to make sure that they get, that you put a foundation so that they can just be the player that they are, and that's important to me. It's important to us, and he's fit right in. And all of the guys on our defense, the Cleo Max, the Joeys, the Derwins, the guys who have played a lot, he's fit right in with them. And then now the offensive guys, he's gone against these guys for many years, and that just really helps your team out. And he's been as advertised, and really thankful we have him.
Did you hear that you think your defense made strides this offseason?
Yeah, Lindsay, I think we're deeper. I just think we're a lot deeper football team than we've been since we've been here. I think up front on the D-line, on the edge, I think in the secondary, we've got a lot of guys who can do a lot of different things, and there's going to be some tough decisions to make during training camp. And so, and I think that's for both sides of the ball. There's going to be some tough decisions to make in terms of cutting to the 53, and that's the sign that you have a good team. So I'm looking forward to the depth of this team competing during training camp, and on defense, definitely excited about what we have up front, and looking forward to that group, when the pads come on, showing what it can do.
We didn't see Dean Leonard out there today. Is he here?
He's here, just up sick.
And then just going back to Eric for a second, we sort of asked him, how he's fitting in with the locker room, whatever, and he just talked pretty glowingly about the culture you built here, the guys that you had here, the type of leaders. He said everyone from the training staff to the coaching staff to the players loves ball. How validating is that for what you've tried to build here since you got here in 2021? That you could bring in a player of Eric's pedigree and caliber, and he would say that about sort of what you've built here culturally.
Yeah, Daniel, it means everything to me. I do this, we do this for them. We do it for our players. And so for a player of his caliber, of his accomplishments, he's an All-Pro, he's a Walter Payton Man of the Year. This is one of the top players at his position in an entire decade. So that respect means a lot. I'm really happy that, he's proud to be, a part of us. I love the fact he's fit in so well with his teammates. And I know that he's going to help us be, a championship caliber team. And so I think that should make all of us feel like we're on the right track. But I also know he's going to really add to what we have. He's going to help make our culture even better, even stronger. And that's what's been fun for me to see, is for all of it to take shape. And, and I'm sure he said, and the rest of the guys, now we got to go put in the work during training camp, because that's where the hard work really is done.
A year ago at this time, after you guys made several offseason acquisitions, you guys were being buzzed about as a championship contender team. This season, that same buzz doesn't seem to be kind of being generated, at least externally. Do you care what's said about your team, or whether your team's talked about as a potential championship team?
No, Lindsay, I know the team that we have. The players that were talked about in that way last year, they're still all on our team, and we've added even more pieces. So we're confident in who we are, and we're just confident in the work that's ahead, and that we've got the guys that are capable of doing it. And we're excited to get to training camp. And but I love coaching this group, and I know this group is really good.
Brandon, in terms of Justin's contract, if it isn't done by the start of training camp, and there's a hold-in situation like with Derwin last year, how much could that impact the offense and installing and everything?
I don't know, Joe. I think that's just all hypothetical. We know who Justin is, and just like we knew who Derwin was. Derwin was an All-Pro last year, and Justin's the same. So I know that Justin's going to be ready to go, and this team's ready to take off. So I'm just excited to get to training camp and put the work in.